Right, you only need to do that if you're using your own laptop and download it and install it. Right, so and now let's go to the next slide here. Right, so talk about what is a NoSQL database. It's not a relational database. In your real database, we have the split and structure data into tables to try to avoid redundancies or inconsistency. And NoSQL database doesn't do that. NoSQL database just allows you to directly store the JavaScript object or we say the JSON object into it. Doesn't pass it into any other format. Right, it's using the JSON format. And no schema means like no specific rules for each kinds of data you want stored inside it. Right, so this is how you're gonna connect it. Right, so to connect it, we can basically right-click inside here. Actually, we're not gonna using the git bash here. So if you're git bash, it's not compatible with the MongoDB somehow when you're using Windows. But if you're using the Mac, you can still using terminal, right? So we're gonna using the command prompt that's a Windows that's basically just a Windows terminal, right? It's just installed by itself. So you can just search for the command or search for cmd. You can just looking for that and click on open it. It's command prompt. It's just a terminal for the Windows. Right. So to enter the Mongo database, you just need to type Mongo here. Just search for command. Search for command and this one, command prompt. Just click and open it.
Should Mongo not recognize that?
Let me see. Here. Okay, it's computing is right. So if you enter the Mongo here, right, hit enter, you should see. Let me first try it. You should see something like this. I should see something like this. Right, we're gonna talk about that soon. Let me just help him to set it up. Here we go. Right. Right. So if you see that screen, that means we are connected to the Mongo database. Right. So it says the MongoDB shell version 4.01.10. You may have a different version, which maybe you can be larger than mine. That mine is one very earlier version. Just make sure that number is bigger than 4. Right. Version 4 is a big update from the 3. So 1. Right. It says connecting to Mongo database. 127.0.0.1. This is basically just a local host. And as a server, like we have a different port. The client is using port 3000. Server is using the port 3100. and the MongoDB's default port is 27017. Right, just when you're trying to host something and host a server, host a service, they're just using the different port to separate the connection. All right, so and see some stuff here. You just ignore them, and you should be see your the start of your terminal says like just a right angle here, and you can start give the Mongo command here. You give it.
The first number is 4. We have a 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, my shell version doesn't match my server version.
I think the server version should be more than 4, and the shell version doesn't really matter. The shell version, we're just using that to give command. If we want to directly modify the data with the commands, right? If you have the earlier version, it's fine. I can help you update it later, but it won't influence anything. We should have the same result when you type this stuff. So we're gonna check in those commands one by one. Well, the first one is show DBs. Basically, it just says showing databases. So you can in the MongoDB you can store more than one databases. Like you usually will have one database for each application. So if you just type in show DBs, it can tell you how many databases you have here. I have admin database. There's a size it is using, which is empty. I have a config database. Have a Hedwig database, a local database, and msymbol database. So that database you have in your computer, the default ones. Alright, see if you have getting the same result. Show DBs. So you can remember those those commands. So this one shows you all the database we have inside it. Alright, shows all the database we have inside it. And let's say the next command, which is use. You can switch between the databases. Tell it like I want to touch this database, I want to touch another database, I want which database I want to modify, which database I want to access to. Right, so which database I want to use it. So it's gonna be use with database name. So for example, I want to use in the msymbol database. Or you don't have. Let's looking for one where we all have admin database. Right, so we can say use admin switched to database admin. Right, so whatever command you give after this one, it's going to be influence only the admin database. Other database won't be touched. And you can switch it again. I can use config database and switch it to config database. You can also give the database name that you do not have it in the list, and basically just going to create a new one for you. So we can say use webmaker database and switch it to webmaker database. Although we do not have that in the list, but it's going to create a new one for us. Right, and but again, if you say show DBs here, it still won't show the webmaker database here because we haven't adding any information inside this database, so it won't show in the list. Once we're adding our first data inside this webmaker database, it's going to show inside as one of our database here. Right now, it's just still not showing here because we don't have anything inside it. Webmaker database, right? So that's how you switch between the databases. And now let's just use webmaker. So we're going to add in the information in the webmaker database. I switch to webmaker database.
Is this the webmaker file name?
File name?
Yeah, like webmaker.
Just any name you like. But I'm just giving the name I call it webmaker because I just want to match my application's name. You can give any name you like.
Does it have to match the name we have that?
No, you don't have to. This is why I say you can give it any name. You can call it like, for example, use webmaker or use my webmaker, like any name you like. Just give it a name like help you to remember what this database is used for. Right, so I'm just gonna using like for example, webmaker as maybe that's a better name. Right. So you can give any name you like. Just remember which name you give it to it for this application, for the webmaker application. Right.
I have a quick question.
Sure.
So I have those two already.
You have it already. I think it might be from last class, and you can give another name. For example, you can call it like a webmaker. Let's say use webmaker. And with your name initials like SW, mine, maybe you can just use your names here, right? So it's all okay. Just remember the name you give it, so any name you like, right? So I'm just gonna use webmaker. If you already have WinMaker inside your list, just choose another one. I'm gonna start with the empty one. Alright, so that's the first step, and let's see the next command we can use here. Right, so it says it will create a new database if the database name cannot be found. Right, so as mentioned here, and we're gonna first take a look at the CRUD command here. We can give to it. Alright, so the next one is called show collections. In your database, each kind of data is stored as collections. By each category, I mean, for example, we will have data for the user, we will have data for website, we will have data for pages, and we will have data for the widgets. Remember, we have user array, we have website array. Each kind of data here means a collection. That means we'll have user collection, website collection, widget collection, and page collections. This is just a name we give it. We call it collections. In the SQL database, we call it tables, or we call it another name. It's called I forgot the name for it, but yeah. So we have different names, but basically means the same thing. Query. Query is more like just a command you give it. Right. So like a show collections is a query, and it's like you want to query data from the database. So each query just basically a command you give it. Right, so it's many used. Query is also mostly using in the SQL database, but yeah, you can just call it query. People will understand it. Show collections, right? So we can show like what the current collections we have in data we have here. So let's try it. So if say show collections, I think it won't show anything here. It will be empty, right? Because we don't have any data inside it here yet. So that makes sense because we just newly created it. And let's try to insert some data, and then we show through the collection, see what we will have. So right, so let's say we can insert data by saying db.collections name and .insert. And here's the example. We can say db. I want to create a user collection, so it's gonna be db.user.insert, and the user information here, username, password. Right, let's try to insert our first user. So let's say I have my application open here. I want to enter the Alice information, right? This the Alice, right? So I have the. Let me just increase font size. 25. I want to enter the Alice information into my database. The ID. We want to enter the ID. If yeah. So what is if when you enter the data, if you do not enter the ID, MongoDB will generate one for you. It's gonna give you a random ID. And if you enter the ID, it's just gonna using the ID you give it. Right? We won't use that. We won't enter the ID. We're just using the MongoDB to generate one for us. Right. So let's say how we can store the Alice information into our database. Right. So here is a command. I'm just gonna put this one on the right. What? See, sometimes. Okay. So let's see. So we have a command. Remember inside here, right? Inside here. So it's gonna be db. And with the collection name, db dot, the collection name. The collection name will be user. Right, we're going to call it user. Or you can call it users if you like. I can call it user or users. I'm just going to call it, let's say, I'll call it users. Right? I call it users. db the users. And I want to insert some information, so it's going to be insert. I see it's almost like a JavaScript syntax here. I don't have to learn a new languages. And what data you want to insert? Right, so data you want to insert, you see it's just like a JavaScript object. I want to insert an object inside here. Right, this is the object, right? So this object, it has a the username, which is Alice. You can basically you can just literally copy this part and paste it here. I'm just gonna type it. Username is Alice. Keep going. And the password is Alice. Come on. First name is. It's a little bit hard to type, but yeah, it's just how it works. Alice. And the last name is Wonder, and its email is Alice at gmail.com. Gmail.com.
Is there a way to paste into the command prompt?
I think you just right click copy and just right click paste it over there. It also works. So same thing. Right, so I just typed it in, but yes, you can copy paste it. It's a little bit hard to see. You just hit enter. Kind of like it's just somehow messed up. Let me see. Show collections. So I have a user collections here. So let me try it again. So if you just db the insert and type that in, you should see it says like it will give you an output. It says write result number. Oops, not this one. Uninserted one. That means you just inserted one data into your database. And once that's done, you do the show collections. It's gonna show the users inside it. This is the command I give it. db the users, the insert, and put the object inside it. You want to enter the object username Alice, password Alice, first name Alice, last name is Wonder. Make sure the first name is capitalized A, and email is alice@gmail.com. Right, this data is stored in the database right now.
So what if you needed to fix this? Because I don't know what just happened. I tried to copy and paste and it did the username Alice and then right result inserted, but then all the password first name and last name after it just came.
Try to using Control C. Try it again. Okay, you can retype it. Yeah, it's okay. So this is the first command wizard, which is adding new information. If you add something information wrong, we can now always delete it or update it.
This is you have to add this.
It depends on the company you're working in. You may need also to work in a little bit about the database part, or you may be your company you have a database developer who is going to mainly focus on how to write those database stuff. You don't have to worry about that if you're working. Yeah, it depends on the company. If you're working in a real big company like Wayfair, I think they will have their own database developer, so you won't touch the database by yourself. You just need to access data inside it. But the data won't be ended by you. They have the people who will focus on that. Yeah, but yeah, in mSimple here, we basically give you a chance to touch everything. Like give you an idea of what's you can do as different role. Right. So 1 second. Yes.
I tried to do it to like I copied, but it's not doing it.
You didn't. I don't think you copied it correctly. So yeah, it means for this one, db the insert and if the comma and you miss something.
Yeah, like it was supposed to do this, but then it did that.
Okay, so we can do a Control C twice and to restart it. And so we can do db the users the insert, right? And put this, right? So then we'll copy. Let's copy it, right? Let me just paste it here. How do I paste it? Control V. Let's see, try to copy. And are you able to paste it? I don't think we can. Yeah. So I don't think how do you paste it?
Well, that's what I figured. Like I did just with the mouse, but then it did it like this.
Yeah, see, I'm trying to copy it, but somehow it's not working. Not allowed me to do it. Control C and right click, that works to me. Yeah, so it's okay. We can just try it again. Let me see. So let's say Mongo. So say db the show dbs. I already have the makers. We're gonna using use with maker show selections. Do we have any data inside it? Oh, you already have some data. Let me just delete this database. So
Oh, yeah. Like we exactly got result by myself.
I forgot how to delete it. Let me see. I can just check it here. DB delete database. Let's say drop database. Should be very easy. So it's just going to be the db.drop database. So you say db.drop database. That's dropped. So if I show dbs now, it will make them happy.
So like it deletes the last database you created, or?
No, you first you're going to say use webmaker or use it's going to delete the one you're using right now.
Okay.
It's the one you're using right now. So alright, so let's using webmaker right now. If I say show collections, it will be empty because we just delete it and recreate a new one. And now we can just insert that data. So db the users the insert. Let's see if it allows me to copy that. Copy and okay. So this is an object. I need to close it. Close the curly brace, which is for the object, and close the parentheses, and hit enter, and it's inserted. Right. All right. So hopefully everyone just pass that, give that command, and it's insert the item. So when you do show collections, make sure the users is showing here. Make sure you have users showing here. When you do show collections, make sure you have a users showing there. Right, so that's how you insert data. That's how you insert data. You can use that command to insert any kind of data. User data, the website data, the page data. Right, that's a command for that. And now let's see the next command. It's I should fix the syntax here. It's db the name the file, so we can check in what data we just inserted. So for example here, we can do db. We want to checking out the users collection. So users dot find. Let's find what we have in the users collection. Hit enter, and this is just what we just entered. It has it gives us an ID, some random IDs here. Has username Alice, password Alice, and the first name Alice, last name Wonder, email. Right, it has the information I just entered. You forgot the parenthesis. Because that's a function. That's file is a function. You use parentheses for that, just like JavaScript code. Right. So db the users the find can find the information you have inside this collection. All right. So that's a just go to bottom. I can see the maybe otherwise. Let's say show collections. Try to type show collections. So do we have the collection created? Yeah, it's not created, so we have to try to insert that information, insert the data again. So insert. That's the insert, yeah. And open the parenthesis, open the curly brace, and copy that information, paste it here.
Was that because I was copying?
I'm not sure about if we can just try to get that copy. So. Paste it here. Just copy and paste.
Yeah,
Copy and paste it here. Just right click, use mouse. Yeah. And close the parenthesis. Remember, the parenthesis needs to be closed. Just open one and close one. Yeah. Hit enter. Okay, insert it and try to show collections first. See if that's ended. Okay, it's added. And you can do db the user stuff by definitely can be easier. Here we go. I think there. Right. So that's so there's a helper function you can use to make the data looks better. Right. So we have db the users the file, and if you after the file you see the pretty, it's just gonna be make it looks pretty. Right. You can try it out. Just to make the code looks a bit pretty. Right. So it's gonna db the users the file parenthesis the pretty. Just make the code a little bit more organized for human to see. Because computer doesn't really care about that.
I have a quick question.
Sure.
So, we didn't create an ID because you said that in Mongo creates one for
Yeah.
you. Is it always going to be just a random string of letters? And then
Yeah, it's going to be random, but it won't be duplicated with the that you already have. Each ID will be unique, but yes, it's random.
So if you have a collection of like 100 rows or 1,000 rows, it's going to be 1,000 unique.
Even you have 200 million rows, it's going to be all unique. The ID, this is why it's called ID identity. It's going to be the way the database used to separate to identify each data, the difference between each. Yes.
Can you limit this ID?
Yes, you can. You can set out the rules for it. Like you can tell it. I want it to be started from 1, and then start counting 1. I think one will be 2, server will 3. You can set up rules for that. Yeah, but usually we don't care about what ID is, because either your client or yourself, you don't care about what ID it is, because we never need to read its ID. It's just something the computer uses to identify each user. We're just going to use its username or use password to identify this as Alice. For example, if I give you ID equal to 15, you will have no idea what we stored inside there unless you check it out.
The function that came up here, is that like the code you would have to find users that you use? Like that's what.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, later we're going to use we're basically going to using our server code here. Like each time we're trying to looking for a user, we're going to tell the server, please give a command to the database to do the db the user to find and find that user for us. And this is going to be output to the server grab. Alright, so we're gonna get into there. So this is a find command. You can find the information you stored in database in the collections you want. And let's go to the next one. I think the next one going to be remove. Right, so remove. Actually, before we get into remove, I want to tell you how it's going to look like when you have more than one user. So let's go ahead and add in one more here. So give db the users the insert. Let's add in one more here. Right, it's adding the Bob's information. So I'm going to go ahead, copy the information of Bob. Just copy the username, password, first name, last name, email. Copy that. And put that inside here. And close the curly brace, close the parenthesis. Enter. Bob is inserted.
My copy and paste
You have to use a mouse. The keyboard control C control V won't work. You have to use a mouse to right click it. It's kind of a
You have to re-enter it. You have to type in db.users.insert and then put the parentheses, open curly brace, then right click, and then edit it.
exactly. And if you enter something wrong, for example, if you enter something like a db dot and you forgot to enter the last rest part, there's going to be a dot 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 here. It means it's thinking you're still typing. You're still typing. What you're typing is just db dot users. And now you can just keep typing insert. You can type it like that. Right, so if you want to quit it, just Control C, and it's just going to jump out. You can retype it. Right, so you can the icon in the front can tell you are you retyping or typing something new.
No, not yet. Take out one, yeah, and then right click.
And now if you do db users find, you'll have two users inside it. You have 2 users inside it. I have 2 users inside it. And if you do a pretty on it, db the users find the pretty, you can see it's very organized, like 2 users.
When you put users find, it's supposed to return those 2,
Yes.
but I didn't do
So what again?
nothing.
Because it's not db the insert file, it's db the users file. And you can tell it which collection it wants to find. Yeah, so let me make it a little bit bigger, so make it easier for you to see it. db the users find.
Shoot, this right click's not working on the copy and paste.
Right click is not working.
If you click on the command prompt, like title bar, and right click, and click on properties.
Right click. Try to right click here. It says right click here. Try to just close it and reopen a new one. Actually, hold on. Let's say what we can do is we can Control C to stop it and redo the Mongo. And we'll see show DB. DB by using WebMaker. So DB the use WebMaker. Show collections. So we already have the information, so we're going to delete this and just redo it. DB the prop database related. So now it's empty. So WebMaker, DB the users, the insert. So let me insert the first one because we just started out. So insert the edits here. Enter here. Close the curly brace, close the parenthesis, and it's ended. And you can use that to end the signal and script effects.
So I'll do it with all of them?
No, just try to. Don't have to do don't have to do all of it. Just try to. Alright, so we have two users inside here. And you can the find, if you just see the find, it will just find all of this for you. And you can tell it, maybe you just want to find one of them. So you can tell it, like in the find, you can add in curly brace, says I want to find the ones with username is equal to Alice. It's going to tell you the which one has the username Alice. Right? So you can add in pretty here to make it look better. So you can DB the user to find. I want to find the one with username is Alice. And it's just going to give you the specific one which is such the username. Right, try it out. You can do DB users dot find. It's going to find all of them. If you just DB user dot find and with just specific one name or specific, you can find by username, find by password, or even find by ID. Find the first name, find the last name. You can find any one of them. Right. Find by email, and it's going to give you an email you're looking for. It's going to find it for you. Right, all these commands you can find in the MongoDB's website. In your documentation, they're going to mention all the commands you can use there. I'm just showing you some common ones we're using daily, and there's some other ones that you can find. Like for example, if you record the age, you can see looking for all the users whose age is bigger than 15, or you can find all the users who is using a Gmail website, a Gmail email. Like his email has a gmail.com inside it. You can check it. Does the email includes the Gmail password inside it? So you can have all kinds of commands here. So we just introduce a few common ones we use daily. Right, so it's fine. And let's say how to remove stuff. Right, so you can say DB the users the remove. Right, remove takes a curly brace. If it just gives empty here, gives the empty object here, that means remove all data inside the user's collection. Or you can say I want to remove the users with a username equals Alice. So we will just remove one for you. Or if I have two Alice, you can remove two. Right, so if you just say remove Alice, Alice is going to be removed. If you just remove empty object here, I'm going to remove all of them. Let's try it out. So let's remove empty object here. You see, number of removed 2. Remove 2 data because we have Bob and Alice. It's both removed. If I try now, if you say DB the users the find, it's going to be empty. No data inside it anymore. We'll remove both of them. And let me just reinstall them. You can use the up and down key to checking the data you entered before. So this is the one entered Alice. You can keep checking. This is Bob. So now I just insert them again. So you can say the DB. Where is that? DB the users the find, and they should be coming back. Pretty. Yeah. So okay, let me see if I just want to remove the Bob, so I can do db the users the remove the one with the first name is equal to Bob, capital B. I remove the first name equal to Bob, and see, oops, none of them removed because the first name is misspelled. The N should be capitalized. I'm gonna try it again. Change the lowercase n should be uppercase. My first name Bob. It can tell you, okay, one of them is removed. And then checking db the users, the find, the pretty. You'll see only the Alice is in the database right now. Bob is removed.
So no matter what you like, you type in your password and it will just remove the whole person altogether.
Exactly, it's gonna remove the whole person.
So that's why, okay, because I was wondering why Bob wasn't popping up when I did the new user fund. Because I already removed Bob.
Yeah, exactly. So if I remove it, it's just to remove the whole user. This is just the condition you use to find that user. You may have two users with the same first name, and if you just remove by first name, both users are going to be removed. Right. So for example, I can insert another Alice. I just insert another Alice. It's a db the users the find the pretty. You'll see the two Alices here. The only difference is they have a different ID. Because I didn't set up any rows here. Remember, the database, the NoSQL database doesn't have any row. The only row it has is like a same user doesn't have same ID. I mean, different users don't have same ID. Others like it can be always the same. So I have two edits right now. So if I try to remove db the users, the remove, I remove the one with a username is Alice. It's actually going to remove both of them because both of them have the same username. You see, the number of remove is 2, and I don't have any data inside it right now. It's empty right now. Right, so let's end in the back. So I'm gonna insert Alice back. Right, just make sure I have at least some data to update next, because next one I'm gonna do is update. So this is the next one.
Quick question.
Sure.
How do you select all like usernames or all emails? Like you just want to view like all the first names in your collection?
I'm not sure you can do that in MongoDB because it's not like a SQL. I know you can do that in SQL. You can select the different rows, different columns, but I'm not sure you can do that in the MongoDB. Yeah, I'm not sure. Let me see. MongoDB. Find. Let's say columns. They don't call it columns, but I think you can. We understand what I mean here. Say find specific field. So I think maybe they have it, maybe they don't. But let me see.
Because in SQL you could just do like a star.
Yeah, I know. Seems like you can do it like this way. Let's say db.find. Let's see. Seems like you cannot do that. It's just more than one conditions. Yeah, I'm not sure you can do that, but yeah, because I a collection here on. Let me see. should be a string. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think you can do that. Yeah, I'll check it out. But yeah, that's something you can do in SQL. I'm not sure if you can do that in MongoDB, but yeah, I'll check it out. Right. So let's say the update. Let's say the update. So update, it will DB the database name, the collection name, the update, and takes two objects. The first one is use select, which object you want to update, and the second object here is what do you want to update it into. Right. For example, so let's say show collections of users. So it's DB the users the find the pretty. So that's my Alice here, and let's try to do a update to Alice. I want to change her first name. Actually, let's change her email. I change her email to alice@hotmail.com, or change it to wonder.@gmail.com. Right, so let's try db the users the update. Right, update. Right, so update. Yeah, update. So update have take two things. I take two objects. The first one is which one you want to update. I want to update the one with username is Alice. And what do you want to update it into? And you will need to type the whole thing. So basically you can just copy this whole thing. I want to update it into with this whole thing, but the email will be wonder@gmail.com. I'm using last name, and I'm gonna close it with did I mess it up?
So you have to paste the whole thing.
Yeah.
Just paste the new.
There's two different commands for that. One for to update the whole thing, and one to just update one command. So let me see. Somehow I'm just mess it up here. So say Mongo. It's a little bit hard to do it. So it's inside the terminal. DB the so use webmaker show collections. DB the users the find the pretty. Yeah, I just updated it to with only username right now. Other fields are deleted me somehow. Let's try it again. So DB the users the update. Right, updates. So with a username equal to Alice, I want to update that into the object. Close it. Update it with the object. That's username. Alice. Password. Alice. And first name. Alice. Cannot see the right part. Should be capitalized A. Alice. And the last name. Wonder. And the email. Right. So wonder@gmail.com. Curly parentheses. Here we go. This is find one match and update the one. Modify the one. Right, update the one. So say DB the user to find and see the Alice is changing to this. You can update it.
There isn't a way to just update the email?
Yes. So if you just want to update the specific field, it's going to be a little bit complicated here. The command we want to give is, I cannot actually remember it, find update one field. It's going to be using the sit. So the command I'm going to be using is, let's see the example they provide here. This one. Alright, so I'm going to be using this one here. Let me just see. So what they're going to do here, for example, this here, I want to update the email again back to the Alice. So it's going to be DB, the users, the update. Yeah, I want to update to the one with the username equal to Alice, and update that into. We're going to be using a $sit and the column, and the object I want to update and put it inside here. Oops, somehow it just shows a multiple for me. Yeah, it's just because I'm changing this. Let me just redo it. Yeah, So users the update set. I want to set the email equals to alice@gmail.com. I change it back to alice@gmail.com. Close the curly brace, close the set, close the parenthesis, and enter. And now I say db the user, the find, the pretty, and should be just update the email. Others will just keep the same. You can use a set here to tell it which one I want to set. Others won't be changed. Right, so I have two ways to update. One is just update the whole thing. Right, db user the update. It's gonna update the whole thing, or db update with the set. It's just gonna set the field you want to change. You can set more than one. I want to update the email and the password. You can update two things at a time. But you're just gonna be set to the ones you want to update. Right, so. Right, so now I still have the wonder in my database. db the users, the find, the pretty. I should have a wonder at gmail.com, and I can update it back to the Alice, right? And it is Alice right now. So just feel free to update it. Alright, so let's see what we have next. I think that's all the basic functions. Let me see if I added more than this. Yeah, I think that's just all I have here. Right, so this basic command create, which is insert, and we have a retrieve, which is just find, and we have update and remove, update and delete, right? Update, remove. So the basic commands we're gonna use daily, and to replace the one we already have in the server. And right, so that is just how you're gonna modify data in the terminal. And which is the hardest way, because you already tried like how hard you can type inside here, and somehow it's very easy to make a mistake. And to make it easier, you can also using a software called Mongo Campus. Right, so just close this one. I'm gonna go ahead and close it. Right, so close it. And just frozen. Okay. Right, so if I go to our Windows here, I think I can search it. Mongodb Campus community. So you may already have it on your desktop. Just double click, open it. It's called Mongodb Campus. Mongodb Campus community. Right, the software. If you have that logo on the desktop, you just double click, open it. If not, you can search for it.
Is MongoDB Compass?
Yeah, MongoDB Campus. Yeah, Campus.
Is that the same thing as MongoDB Compass Community?
Yes, same thing. The different version may show a different name, but it's the same thing. Yeah, just double click, open it. You should see the screen like this. It's gonna take a few seconds to load, and you will be able to use this to connect to the database. Right, so don't have to change anything here. Just click on connect. I don't need to change anything. Just connect. So default setting, just connect it to your own database. It's gonna loading to connect to database. Right, so you should be able to see all databases you have in your desktop, in your computer. I say I have the admin, config, local, and symbol, webmaker. It's all the databases are here. It's basically just it's a graphic user interface. It's GUI for database. And let's click on the waymaker. And see, this is a user collection that I just created. I can click it, and you can just easily see the data inside here, which is much better than just using terminal. So you can see the data is inside here. It might be so small, but I don't think I can change the font size here. I can zoom in. Oh yes, I can. Control Shift.
So how did you get there?
How do I get here? Let me try it again. Alright, so let's start from beginning. Alright, so firstly, double click on the MongoDB. Click to open the MongoDB canvas. I open it. It's gonna load. Right, so once it's loaded, it should see a screen like this. It's connected to host, and just click on connect here. It's gonna connect it. And you should see all database you have in this computer. Right, so that's all database I have here. Right, so I'm making it a little bit bigger, so you can see it. And that's all database I have here.
When you download this on your personal computer, do you also get the MongoDB Compass screen?
When you install it, they're gonna option ask you, do you want to install it? Do you want to install the MongoDB Compass along with MongoDB? And you're gonna check it and says yes, I want to install it. They're gonna checkbox ask you, do you want to install Compass as well? So yes, just check yes. All right, so Waymaker, click on it, and this is a collection we just created. I'm just gonna make it bigger so you can see it. It just takes a few seconds to load it. I say it says I have one document, a total size, average size, and indexes. So this is an object we created. And you can also update it by just click on it. There's an update button. Edit the document. You can just edit it from here. You can change it to anything you like. Change it to hotmail.com, and just please press update, and this just work. It's much easier than give the command. Just another alter way you can alternate the database. But when you're really working in accounting, they may using a system that doesn't have a graphic user interface, then you will have to use in the terminal. But in case whenever they have the graphic user interface, like the Windows system, you can just always using the canvas to edit it. You can edit, copy, or just clone it. Just do many things you want to it. Again, any new ones like insert document, and you see it's just insert ID and username, which is Bob, right? And password, which is Bob, and first name, which is Alice, and last name is another Alice. Sorry, first name should be Bob, and Bob's last name, I forgot what is that. I'm just gonna call it my last name. Email, and just bob@gmail.com, and insert, and Bob is created. You can also remove it if you don't like him, and it's gonna ask you, do you want to delete it? You can say cancel or just delete. And it's just gonna be a little bit easier than just using the terminal.
Can you upload like a CSV file?
Yes, you can. I think inside here on top is insert the import data. You can import data inside here. You can choose either JSON format or CSV format, and just upload it from here. Just in the connection and just import. You can also give a command in terminal to import it. So I think the command is I forgot, but every time when I need to import it, I'm gonna have to check it out. MongoDB import CSV, and it's gonna tell you the whole process to do it. And the command is called Mongo import. And the full command example they're gonna give you in the bottom somewhere. Maybe not. yeah, just need to restore it, and I think they're gonna give you the example, but maybe not in here. Here. So Mongo import and -c with the collection name, -d the database name, and the mode and the file name. Just import it. It's just gonna work, right? There are many different commands you can use here. So I just introduced the basic ones. You just need to know more of them. You just need to read through all the collections, all the commands they listed in their documentation. Right? This is MongoDB documentations. It has all the commands they have there. Right. So I suggest you the current version is 4.2. So when you have time, you need something, just search inside here. You can search document like a find. And they have a lot of commands you can use inside here. Yes, a lot. And you need to just looking for the ones you need. Looking for the ones you need. Right, a lot of them. Right, so that is the basic command, and you can also use in the Mongo campus, right? Which is also work. And the one last thing we're gonna do today. We're going to connect the MongoDB with our application, set up the connection, and that's it for today. Tomorrow we're going to start to working on the user part, the website part, like we do for the server. Right? Today we just built up the connection. All right, so I'm going to close it. So you can basically remove everything if you want. I'm just going to leave the Alice and Bob inside here. So let me just close it. I'm going to close it and go back to my application. This is the application we used to have. Right, so to make it work, you can follow in the assignment description. So WebMaker 4, I already uploaded it there, so you should be able to see that in our assignment description. And the first thing we're going to do, like is this, we're going to connect to Mongo database. So to connect it, we will need two libraries. One is called Mongoose. Another one is called config. We're going to introduce both of them. Just firstly is install them. So it's going to be npm install npm I, and first one is Mongoose. Second one is config. You can install both of them in one line. Just npm I mongoose space config. It means install them both. But you can add as many as you want. So I just install two libraries. Mongoose and config. Right, so let's install. It's very two tiny libraries. All right, so and after that, the second thing we're gonna do is we're gonna create a folder called config. We'll do some setup inside there. So just inside your root folder here, create a new folder called config. Right, so I'm recording the video, so if you're not following, you can just check in the videos afterwards. Right, so create a config folders here. It's a little bit small. Let me just make it bigger. Right, a config folder. It's not inside client, not inside the routes, just outside of everything, just in the root folder. Right, in the root. Right, config folder, and inside it, we're gonna create our first file. We're gonna
Excuse me, you just created config file yourself?
Config folder. That's yeah, I just created by myself. Yeah, so you can follow along with here. It says create a config folder in root. It's the second step.
Create the folder in roots.
Yeah. Root just means the root path, which is outside of everything, just in the WebMaker folder. In the WebMaker folder. Root just means the root folder means just outside the main folder, right? The main folder. So in the config folder, we're gonna create our first file. We're gonna call it default.json. This is a JSON file. It's like the package JSON, package log.json. It's going to be called default.json. And we are going to add in some meta information here, so we can use it in other file. Right, then put a curly brace and say Mongo and give it the address of it. So the database we want to use is going to be the MongoDB column / localhost 27017. Remember, this is localhost 27017. It's a default domain, default host and port for the MongoDB, right? And the slash with the database name, right? My database name is called webmaker, so it's going to be /web-maker. That's my database name. Right, that's it.
So you made that file yourself, it's not a download.
Exactly. So checking the assignment requirement here, let's create a config folder in the root, and then create this default JSON file and put this inside it. I can just copy from here if you want. I copy this inside it.
And this is the file of the what's actually in the MongoDB, and not the name of.
This is tell this application like where to find the database. Database will be in the localhost 27017, and database name is webmaker. Just give tell the entry point where to find the database.
So it needs to be a unique name. Like if we have webmaker already as a database, we need to do something different.
This means I want to use the webmaker database. You can tell any name you want to be used. The database name. Okay. So the earlier we just remember in the terminal we created the webmaker folder. So Mongo. Right. So this is basically this address here. Is this one here? So the MongoDB /127.0.0.1. The 127.0.0.1 is localhost, and 27017 is this port.
But if you do show DBS.
Show DBs.
Yeah, and if I have webmaker already on my
Right.
DB.
So if that's not created by you, and you want to use another one, just change the name here.
But it has to match.
It can be any name. If you cannot find this database, it's gonna create a new one for you.
From here.
Yes. So for example, if I want to use a database, webmaker -sw, right? I don't have that inside my database, but I can still use it. It's gonna create it for me. It's gonna create a new one for me. But I'm just gonna use the webmaker. But you can basically using any one you like. And if you another way is like if you feel you want to use the webmaker, you can delete the old database here, which is gonna be use webmaker, right? And then delete it is gonna be db.drop database, and which is going to delete the database here. So say if I try it, db.drop database, hit enter, it says webmaker is dropped, and I can show dbs, and webmaker is gone. I just delete it. Right, you can delete it as well. Right, so this now is I'm just gonna create whenever I insert new data, it's gonna create a new database for me. But I'm just telling you what database name I want to use. I want to use it called webmaker, right? Web-maker. Right, next step, we are going to create a new file called db.js. So we're gonna put that as well in the config file, a config folder. Right, config folder, we're gonna create a new file called db database.js, right? db.js, and we will be able to build connections from here. Well, so we can write some JavaScript code here because it's a JavaScript file. So we're going to say constant mongoose require mongoose. I'm going to try to import the mongoose libraries. All right, and also I'm going to import the config libraries we just installed. Config is require the config. I'm using the both libraries inside here. And I want to get this Mongo, the string I used here. I'm gonna say so the constant, the Mongo. I'm just gonna call it db is equal to config dot get Mongo. That means getting this address here. Right? Getting Mongo, getting this. Right? So it's config dot get, which will getting this default JSON and getting this thing here. So we're getting that. Right, we're getting that. And then I can see, I can ask Mongoose is a library help. So the only reason we're using config is that we can store some information inside here, and whenever I want to use it, I can see config.get getting that out. Right, getting the value. And I want Mongoose is a library to help us to build connections, to the database. So if I want to connect to the Mongo database, I just created or I'm going to create it. I'm going to say constant connect db is equal to a function. I'm going to be using a thing here because I'm going to be a await. Or I can just say, actually, I'm just going to using a regular function. It may be easier to understand. Connect db. Right, just a function called connect db, and I'm going to put it as async. And I say await Mongoose to connect db. Right, that's it. That Mongoose will connect to this db. Remember, db is pointed to this address, pointed to the localhost 227.1.7/webmaker. So it knows where to connect. Just connect using connect function. It's going to connect to that database. All right, and now I can export it. Module.exports exports this connect db function. I connect to that that database, right? So if I just create the db.js by itself, it won't do anything. We need to use this function inside the server.js. I put that in our server.js. This is an entry our server. So I'm gonna import it. So constant connect db is from require. So $config folder /db. And I can just put it here. So it's going to be connect database. This is call the function just create connect db. Right. So you basically can just put this whole thing in the server.js, but we just want to separate the file separate the code into different files to make it more readable. So I just created the whole thing inside another file and export it, and then just call the function inside here connect db. Right, so we don't want to always have things in the same file, so we just want to separate the concern. Right, so the db file will worry about the connection database, and here we just call the functions to connect to the database.
Can you go back to the db.js?
Just one function.
Just need to close it up. Module export.
Yeah. So module.export just means make it like exported, so other file can import it. We did the same thing in all the files, like in the routes, like page.js. We did the module exports. User.js, we did the module exports. Right. So all those files have had module exports, and the db.js just exports this connect db function. And now if I do npm run server, it will connect to database.
I noticed at the end of your connect db, the db is capitalized. Is that supposed to be both capitalized?
That's just a personal habit. I think most people do it with just both capitalized. You can just do lowercase if you want. Because if you do database, that can be lowercase, makes more sense. But because we're using the shortcut, so I think db makes more sense here. But yeah, you can use in lowercase if you want. We can give any name you like. But the most common name we use here is just going to be the uppercase.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just a naming habits here we have. So
What's the server.js side again?
server.js?
Yeah.
Server.js just one line connect db. That's it. And you need to of course you need to import the file just created and just connect db. Connect db is just the function's name. So basically just run this function, which is going to do the mongoose the connect db. Let's do the mongoose the connect db here.
it's npm just run the server?
Yeah, npm run server or npm start both work. Right. So npm run server. Just gonna the regular way we start the server side, and we'll give you a warning. It says some deprecation warning, and the current URL string parser is deprecated and will be removed, and blah blah blah. So to get rid of this warning, right? This won't influence anything, but we don't want to see it here, so we can go to the db.js and right after the connection db here, you can put the object. And says let me just break that into multiple lines. So use, instead of using the old one, I can use new URL parser, which is true. And say use unified topology true. That's gonna get rid of this that two warnings, but won't influence anything. Yeah. Say server started on port 3100. Right. So that's already built a connection to the database right now. That's how you connect your database. If, for example, if I type something wrong here, right? So if I address here, I give it something wrong. If I take a 27016 instead of 7, I save the file. It won't say. Actually, it still says server started on 3100. I think it's because I haven't tried to access to the database, so it's always gonna give you a server access to it, but actually it's not actually gonna work. Let me see. Yeah, I think right now you can just type anything here. It will always work. Yeah, I won't really check it because we're not really use it. Or no, I cannot. So if you type something random, it's gonna tell you invalid connecting string to connect to the database. So it just make sure it gives a correct the connecting string here, so it can build a connection. Yeah, it cannot be random. I'm not sure what is exactly rows it's using here, but this is a correct address. So localhost column 2717 and give database name. Alright, so DB just one file and the server.js just using 2 lines here to connect it. And yeah, that's the first step.
Can you go back to the VBS?
Yes.
Sorry,
Yeah. Any question about anything, just let me know.
What about the last 2 lines?
This too. So if you're checking the warning, it's containing you here. You see that warning here? It says so it seems like you are using the old URL parser, and that will be removed in a future version. So please using the new parser by pass an option. Use new URL parser to the Mongo client connect, and this is passing in these options. So you can add all kinds of options as a second object here. I'm passing in this option, and the second warning is saying the unified topology somehow is like the monitoring engine is deprecated and will be removed in the future. And please using the new one, so just pass this one as a new one. Because true. Right, so I'm just following the warning that said here. To instead of using the old one by default, I'm gonna pass in the options to tell it I want to using the new ones here. Right? The old one's still working, but in the future version it may be removed in the future, so we can just start using the new one right now. It won't influence anything.
So my in the terminal, it doesn't have all the extra node menus that you have, or the node mons that you have. It just literally says webmaker and everything, node server.js, and then started up on port 31.
Yeah, it's because you are not using node man. npm start is using the node. Remember in the scripts here in the package.json?
Oh yeah, no, I was just asking because yours had all the
Yeah, so if you're using npm start,
yep,
and it won't show anything else because you're using the node.
gotcha.
And we are using the node man, which is going. So the difference between the node man and node is for you to test. It will every time when you make some changes, it's going to restart server automatically. If you're using node, it won't restart automatically for you. You have to restart by yourself.
Gotcha.
Right. So like for example, if I change something, if I change the DB to be DC, save it, it won't refresh. But if I using the node man, right? If I use node man, so I say npm run server. This is set up in the default JSON here. When I say npm set up in the package.json here. When I say npm run server, it's going to using nodeman instead of using node, and we're using nodeman to run it. All right, and every time when I make a change, the server will be restart. This is restarting, and give me an error because I change it. I can change it back. It's going to restart again, and to try to start the server. Right, so there's a difference between nodeman and node. And if you prefer to restart every time by yourself, you can just using node. Otherwise, you need to install the nodeman to use it. Yep. If you're throwing error, let me give me just 1 second. I come over to help you. But this is all we do today to set up build up the connections. And if you already finished this part, you can go ahead to import the data. Import data. Like remember, we have the website data, we have the user data, page data. Go ahead using use either terminal or the campus to ending the data one by one into database. We will use it in the future.
So this app crash warning I shouldn't worry about yet.
Let me come over to check it for you and.